up YouTube? Yo, we're heading to the park. It's a nice sunny day. We're right here, beautiful. Quite a few people. So from what I've learned, time is very valuable. And if you're looking to be a full-time freelancer, then time, well, it's especially important. Now, I think everyone's pathway to becoming a full-time freelancer looks a little bit different, but today I want to share my experience, how I got to where I am today, and hopefully that can help you get somewhere where you want to be. Pretty cool building, hey? Now, to grossly oversimplify how, I guess, this all happened, once I realized that I wanted to make my passion into my job, I decided that I was going to go to part-time, reduce my hours a little bit at my full-time job, and work day and night before and after my actual shifts, just like dedicating time towards this. I think time is going to be one of the bigger topics in this video, so I'll mention it later on. Whoa, what a beautiful bird.
Oh my God, you're so cute. What the hell?
Look, there's so many of them. In this social media driven world, I think that I've found success in finding a balance between quantity and quality. Now, by quality, of course, I mean giving 100% of my effort, and by quality, I mean consistency. I think consistency is actually just as important as quality. So in this video, I'm going to discuss 3 topics that I think are very important to me in finding this consistency. But the first thing's actually at home, so I'll see you there. Whoa. Now, the first thing I want to talk about is friction, and more specifically, gear. Friction. Now, here's what I mean by friction. When you have an idea and you want to create the idea, everything between the thought and the product is the friction. Now, a lot of people say that gear doesn't matter, but I actually kind of disagree with that. I think that gear that can reduce the amount of friction that it takes between you creating a video is very important. Let me give you some examples. Mini tripods. I have 2 mini tripods here. One is by PGY Tech and one is by Manfrotto. They're both very small and they're both useful, but this one in particular is very useful. My Manfrotto tripod, very simple tripod. That's pretty much all it does. Whereas this tripod has a quick release top, so I can just clip my camera on very quickly and secured. It has a fluid head to it, but the awesome part about this is that it's actually got a hook here, and I can transform it into something where I can just put it on top of my door to get a very, very easy top-down shot. Now, otherwise, to get a top-down shot, sometimes it takes extra gear, such as a C-stand, where it's just a lot of space, takes time to set up. Using something smaller like this allows me to get that same shot a lot more quicker. This is the friction that I'm talking about. I shoot with my iPhone a lot, and this little MagSafe mount is a game changer for me. Rather than using a phone mount, this MagSafe mount for my iPhone, easy, just sticks to it, perfect. I can get shots so much quicker with little setup. Something else I'm using even right now is my DJI mic setup. This is a wireless setup that allows me to just talk as close as I want to the camera and as far away as I want from the camera, and it's gonna have the same amount of volume. I used it in the intro of this video, super useful when you're outside. Just clip this on, plug it into your camera, and you're generally sorted. I use this a lot for my client projects as well. There's 2 transmitters, so I can get 2 people talking at the same time. DJI has good options, Rode has good options, there are a lot of other brands, but wireless mics are a great option. Depending on the work that you create, these items will definitely vary. Simplifying the whole process of creation will definitely get you to want to create more, because with less friction, there is less that you have to think about, and this will ultimately get you to create more. Mind you, this is something that I'm always working on, and you got to be careful because you don't want to buy unnecessary gear when you don't have to. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is to do with quality. Now, let's make some coffee while I do that. So the next thing I want to talk about is actually creating value. When I make YouTube videos, for example, I try to bring something that will give the viewer, you, my audience, something that they can take away from that video. Whether that's tips with editing or filming, or even if it's just simple as giving the viewer a more relaxing experience with a simple but aesthetic vlog. How can I add value to this for the viewer? Now, I think that this extends way beyond just YouTube. If you're doing freelance and client work, you want to bring value to your client. The goal is to make something that makes them super happy with your product so that they can either hire you again or they could even introduce you to more clients. I used to think, what kind of value can I actually bring to YouTube? And the simple answer that I've come up with is my experience. Now that I'm at the position where I'm working for myself, I feel like documenting my journey from this point onwards is very valuable to a viewer, especially someone who is wanting to do something similar. I think no matter what position you're in, if you are striving towards achieving a goal, if you wanted to document something, that journey just by itself is definitely something that will bring value to somebody. I think I'm gonna have this iced. I'm just submerging the hot coffee in some water just to cool it off a little bit. I found that if you cool off your hot beverage before you put it in the ice, it will last so much longer, and this thing fits perfectly inside of my rice cooker. Ooh. On the surface, working for yourself, it sounds really great. But there are often times as a full-time freelancer that things just don't go to plan. You see, doing this, it comes with a handful of responsibility, and taking that initial leap can be a little bit risky. I would consider this a huge change in my lifestyle, and because of that, I think there are times when I struggle to find a balance between my personal and my work life. Change, it can be quite difficult, whether that's in your job, your living situation, your personal relationships, and I think that these can build to anxiety and stresses which will ultimately affect your daily life. I bring this all up because a lot of you, my viewers, are in a very similar situation, striving to find their place in doing what they love, and if you think you can benefit from having helpful conversations, then I would like to introduce to you today's sponsor of the video, BetterHelp. Professional therapy, it's never been easier to access to. After a very simple survey, you can choose whether you'd like to have your therapy sessions as calls or in messages. You can put in your preferences for the type of therapist that you'd like to talk to, and usually within 48 hours, you are matched with a professional therapist. They have a very easy scheduling system, so you don't have to go out of your way to start having these healthy conversations. And the best part is, if you don't really match with your therapist that well, then, well, you can just switch to a different one. A lot of the time, us creatives need to have these productive conversations in order for us to understand that we need to create a balance between our work and our private lives. So let BetterHelp connect you to a therapist that can help you from the comfort of your own home. You can visit betterhelp.com/Tatsuki, or if you want, you can use my code Tatsuki, and this will give you a little discount on your first month as you sign up. Again, thank you BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. At the start of the video, I mentioned that I went from a full-time position down to part-time and then eventually switched over, and how I did this was time management. Before and after my work obligations, I set aside some time for my creative work. Because this dedicated time is before and after work, you don't have a very long time to be able to do things, so I like to work in short little tasks. I find that this approach allows me to get jobs done more efficiently, and I don't get burnt out as easy. I think the hardest part about all of this is setting that time and being dedicated and diligent to then work after your work. The reality is you will have to sacrifice time. That time might be with friends or it might be playing games, but you will have to set aside some time to then work on your own stuff. This is a form of diligence, and I think by doing this, I personally became a little bit more mentally prepared by the time I became full-time freelance, because the reality is now my whole job is time management. Once you work for yourself, you need to set your own schedules, you need to create your own routine, and you can only take on extra work if you have extra time to do it. I would highly recommend using a timer app on your phone such as Forest. This will allow you to use the timer and also try to keep you from distractions on your phone. By removing any distractions on your phone, you're going to allow yourself to build momentum throughout the set duration of time, whether that be 1 hour or 30 minutes or 20 minutes. And that momentum will hopefully push you forwards and you can actually complete a task without interruptions. Otherwise, it sounds pretty silly, but I would definitely recommend you to put your phone in a different room. This absolutely works. Your phone can definitely be your worst enemy. I hope that through this video you were able to find something that you can implement into your own personal strategy to create the videos or the artwork or whatever it is that you want to create, and find that harmony between quality and quantity and grow as an artist. See you in the next video.